Hey, Max, it's been a while. We haven't gotten together for an adult beverage.
It has been quite a spell, or at least I wouldn't say we haven't gotten together for an adult beverage.
That's true. In the podcast studio.
In the podcast studio,
Let's define it a little more narrowly. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Brewer's H2O Hoppy Hard Seltzer.
That's very good.
Product. Looks like you're rocking the Mexican
lager. I got the Mexican lager. Yeah.
That's the fastest growing beer in the Lewis and Clark lineup right now. Yeah. You know, the whole Mexican lager thing is huge.
Right.
Everybody loves. I mean, a lot of people don't even know Modelo is the #1 selling beer in America now.
Well, soon to get a lot more expensive, maybe.
Yeah, well,
so you might want to take a look at this Mexican lager.
It might be the #1 selling beer in America.
It should be. If I was Anheuser-Busch or any American company, I'd be like, hey, could I buy that from you?
It's for sale.
Yeah. Everything's got a price, baby. Everything.
Yeah. No, it's exciting to get back together. We got to start doing this more. I think we just both got busy doing all sorts of other things. But we got some exciting news to talk about. Obviously, summer's coming up. Weather's turning nice. Sun is coming out. And so all the conversation starts going to, hey, what are you guys doing this summer? And are you going to do a Live at 5 again?
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering how things are coming with a Live at 5.
And, you know, last year was kind of, I guess I would say a little bit easier on the financial side of things because everybody wants to save something that is going to die.
Right.
And a Live at 5, of course, was, you know, on the chopping block, was not going to happen. And so, you know, we put the word out that, hey, if we can get some sponsors, we'll take it on ourselves and we'll do some of them downtown and we'll do some of them at the brewery and it'll all be cool. And we got a lot of great sponsors that stepped up to help it make it happen. And it's a little bit tougher just to kind of say, hey, do you want to help keep a Live at 5 going instead of save a Live at 5? But fortunately, we have had three of our biggest sponsors have stepped up. Rocky Mountain Credit Union, once again, a diamond sponsor.
Wow, that's great.
With Lewis and Clark Brewing Company, of course. And then MT Kush is also a platinum sponsor. And so just with those two big sponsors, and we have a lot of other ones that are starting to come in. If you're interested in sponsoring a Live at 5, you know, please reach out to us, Heidi at lcbeer.com or go out to the Helena's Live at 5 website, and there's a lot of information out there about how you can participate and help us put this on. So knowing that we had at least enough sponsorship to make it happen again, really what happens is just the level of talent that we can bring in,
right,
depending on the sponsors that we get. And we feel like this year we've got a great mix of some good local talent, some of Helena's favorite local bands, and some great talent that people have definitely heard of from national touring acts, and then I'm sure some new acts for a lot of people that they haven't heard of but are just phenomenal acts. So super stoked about it Live at 5. And again, that's Wednesday afternoons. And we are going to have a number of them at Lewis and Clark Brewing.
Yeah, what's the format this year? I mean, last year it was kind of
little back and forth. We're going to do that, but we're also going to mix it up a little bit. So we've got some of them at Lewis and Clark, and then some of them down at Women's Park. And then we actually have one of them down on the 400 block by the Gold Bar and Old Salt and that whole area right there. They're going to close down the street one week. And then we actually are going to throw one over at Carroll College. That's going to be actually the first day of school for Carroll College, and we'll put that in the parking lot. One of the really cool things to announce this year is we partnered up with another one of our sponsors, Brady Sound and Brady Pro Sound, and he has this is a gentleman we worked with a couple of times in the past, but he's actually moved 3 of his stages from down south, like I think he was from Missouri or Tennessee or something, up to Montana. And so we partnered with him, and he's going to be providing a stage and PA for the Live at 5s that will really elevate the sound and the visual aspect from where we've been.
Oh, that's great.
So instead of kind of, the shell and the old trailer that we had to try to get in there sideways to fit people,
right?
You're going to walk into Alive at 5 now and be like, oh, wow, this is a music festival. This is a serious deal. So super excited about that. And we've also contracted him for the block party and a couple other events this summer. So just a higher level of sound and stage and PA and lights, all that kind of stuff, just to start off with, is going to make it really exciting.
Well, when does it start? When's the first one to kick off?
The very first Alive at 5 is June. Let me roll it up.
Drum roll.
Alive at 5, June 18th.
June 18th.
And that one is going to start out at Lewis and Clark Brewing, the very first one. And the first act, this is the first time we're talking about any of the acts, and excited to announce them, is Ronnie and The Redwoods. And just some great red dirt music, Americana red dirt music, the whole West Texas Americana rock kind of theme. I mean, these guys got a lot of their influence from blues and folk and country, and people like John Prine and Tyler Childress were big influences. Actually, Cross Canadian Ragweed, good friends of ours. Were a big influence, I know. And so this is going to be just a great party band to kick things off at Alive at 5. And like we did last year, we'll always kick the music off at 5:30. Sometimes we'll have an opener. A lot of that just depends on whether these bands are kind of a 90-minute band, or whether, they're, hey, we could go 2.5 hours. We'll just take a break in the middle. And so super excited about that. These guys have toured all over the country. Just happened to catch them on their way through to something else, which is what we normally do. And so, super excited about that. I think we got a little bit of music.
You ready for it?
Yeah, let's throw it up there. This is Ronnie and the Redwoods.
Time won't make you young. Dying's all I've done. Ain't that a funny one? Those days disappear. Looking back, it's hard to see. I keep moving my way, staying out of break. Can you see those signs? Burning neon lights, I miss them every time I reach home. Waves bang, yellow bricks run through the mics. No way to turn around, lost in that heaven place. I'll be back home where my love nights. 'Cause if time all you had, would you waste it on love when it's done you so bad? All the hate, all the pain, like some tracks in the arms from the wheels of train, just a break for a while, till that air turn to smoke from the flames of fire. We will go.
I think people are got a great sound. Really going to love these guys. Definitely a unique sound, super tight, just really good musicians, and that'll be the first one.
So that's at
June
Lewis and Clark,
18th,
June 18th, kicking off, you said, at 5.
Kicking off at 5:30, and we may end up having an opener for that one. A lot of the openers we haven't slotted in yet, but if so, they'll probably be kind of like we did last year, solo acoustic guys or something that easy on, easy off. But yeah, that's going to be a great first one. We're crossing our fingers that the weather's going to treat us right, but we figured starting right in mid-June should be a nice time to get that assurance a little bit better. And then the next week, June 25th, the first big one down in Women's Park, with the first time that we're going to bring the big stage and PA down to Women's Park for that. Alive at 5. It's one of Helena's favorite bands of all time, and you and I have seen these guys play so many times at the tap room, and they always bring it. They always bring the crowd. They always bring great music that people love to dance to, and it is 10 years gone.
Yeah, those guys are amazing. Well, here's a little bit of them in the tap room not long ago. You can see it's a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, they always bring the crowd. You know, the other thing that you find with 10 Years Gone is they're going to play music, number one, that they can play well. So they don't play a lot of music that you say, oh, wow, I wonder why they're covering this. They actually have selected a really good set list that spans from probably, I know a couple of those songs are from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
All the way up to songs that, in the last couple of years.
Right.
And they get people dancing.
They do.
And I mean, the dance floor is usually packed and the place is normally packed. And we wanted to get them last year, just didn't work out timing wise, but we did get them for the first big one down at Women's Park. And that one again is on June 25th. And that's going to be a really fun party. It'll be, kind of that first one where people are hearing it. If you live in downtown Helena and people just start walking down from the Upper West and the South Central and all that area of town. And of course, we'll have all the food trucks and all the normal stuff you'd associate with.
Is it kind of the same? You'll go get your wristband first and then be able to
yep.
If you want to buy beer, get a wristband.
Thanks for bringing that up because the wristband money, of course, always goes to a nonprofit. So each week we have selected specific nonprofits that get all of that wristband money, and
that's great.
Raised a significant amount of money last year for nonprofits. So we're excited to help do that, and it's really the community that does that. But it is nice to be able to have a component of this that is actually helping some of the nonprofits.
Well, as a member of the community, what a great way to help a nonprofit in the community. You get to go, paying for the wristband, the money's going to a good cause, and get to have a beer.
Absolutely. And there's also, there was a lot of them last year actually called Friends of Alive at 5. And if you go to the website or the Facebook page, you will find the information about that. But we had a lot of people that said, hey, I just want to support this. And as part of that, they got a T-shirt and they got some beer tokens and you got a number of other things that come along with that kind of membership, if you will. And so I think that's something that will continue to grow. I mean, we still have a couple of months here before we get rocking and rolling. So, that's really cool. And I think to be able to really kick off the big one downtown with a local band that everybody knows, you're going to go and have a great time. You're going to have music that you have heard and the words and you want to dance to it and family friendly, all that kind of cool stuff.
Right.
So it's going to be a great time. So that kicks us into the next week, which, of course, the next week following Wednesday is the 2nd of July. And the 2nd of July is going to be back at Lewis and Clark. And we have a band called the Wilder Flower, which is a all-female trio with some just amazing harmonies. And they also have a stand-up bass player that travels with them. But we're excited. That'll be their first time through Montana, and they just happen to be coming through for some other stuff they're doing on a tour. They actually come out of, I believe it was North Carolina or South Carolina, the Carolinas anyway, the mountains of the Carolinas. They'll be playing the big Ponderoos Music Festival out there, and 3-part harmony, instrumentals, original songs. Rural Appalachia is kind of their roots, and they love telling stories, and it's going to be a really nice kind of the kind of music that you'd walk up to a campfire before they even had electricity, and hear that kind of music is always a fun kind of energy that gets developed, and so that is going to be on the 2nd of July, and I think we have a little clip
got a little bit of them.
We can throw up here and listen to a little bit of the Wilder Flower.
1, 2, 3, 1. When the apple don't fall far from
Yeah, really nice harmonies.
Yeah.
Really, that'll be a good, a nice fit for the vibe fits really well for a Wednesday. You know,
Yeah. And, they do some faster stuff as well. But yeah, it's always really cool when you see acoustic instruments get really kind of blended with the voices and the harmonies come through. And it's a classic example. I mean, sometimes a difficulty for sound guys to deal with those one microphone and everybody's singing into it. But it's kind of that old school, mentality of how music is played. And so we're super excited to have those gals come through, and that's going to be a great show. And again, that one is on July the 2nd. And so then if we move to the next week, which is July the 9th, that is going to be on the 400 block downtown, Last Chance Gulch. So the street will be closed. And we'll end up putting the stage on one end of the closed street. And I'm sure that, the Gold Bar is going to be doing the catering for that.
That's what I was
event.
going to ask. That's kind of in conjunction with the businesses down there, right?
Yeah. So there will be, it's a way to kind of move it around a little bit and let everybody kind of experience some of the fun of Alive at 5.
Right.
And so we're excited about that one. And that one is going to be the Red Elvises. Igor and the Red Elvises. And they're one of Helena's favorites. I remember years ago when you and I first went to the Mount Helena Music Festival years and years ago. And Igor and the Red Elvises were always a part of that. And I'll never forget this giant guitar they had with this, almost needed its own stand.
Yeah,
it's
they
like
put
a
on
giant
a show.
Triangular guitar. He's a Russian gentleman, and there's definitely been different members of his band that move through. I think they get visas each year to come through. And
something anyway.
And they're a party band. I mean, they bring it and they get people excited. And so we've got a little music here
let me
to
fire
share
up
with
a
them.
chunk of that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Almost hard to describe, but it's fun.
It is fun.
Caramba!
I saw this drummer put on an amazing drum solo when they played at the brewery one time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. In the funky motel, I met a pretty lady. Her name was Chantal.
Igor was born in Germany and raised in Ukraine and studied music in Russia.
She's laughing at me. I work for Taco Bell. She works at KGB. Everybody. She works at KGB.
Personally greeted by Ronald Reagan in 1993.
Oh, really?
She works at KGB.
And he won Ed McMahon's Star Search. And that's where they got popular. That was one of the very first, if you think back, Star Search was before America's Got Talent or any of those shows. Star Search was the way to get exposure. And this is years ago. And winning that really kind of put them on the map. And now they tour the nation all year long.
Well, he's so fun. And they're so talented, regardless of the musicians that he has at the current time. But also, if you're unsure, you get to see it for free.
Yeah.
So that's a nice bonus. It's okay.
You don't have to ask for your money back.
Yeah, you do 30 minutes of it, 45 minutes. You go, it's not quite for me. What's the loss? You got some sunshine.
No, and there's nobody that's going to leave when these guys are playing, because even if you're not into that style of music, they're entertainers.
Yes.
And so you're just going to be watching the entertainment.
It is a little bit of, I don't want to downplay the musical part of it, but it's a little almost like a circus atmosphere.
Yeah, it is.
It's really good. It's fun. It's just fun.
No doubt. So again, that one is down on the 400 block of Last Chance Gulch. And that one is on the 9th of July. And that is the Red Elvises. So mark that calendar if you're tagging along here. And then the next week, we are back at Lewis and Clark, and we've got a really awesome band. I mean, all of these musicians are great. Even the local bands that we have are just phenomenal. But there's definitely some of them that you say, okay, well, even the Red Elvises, you're going to pay either a cover charge or a ticket fee if they're playing even in Helena at any time.
Yeah.
But you're not going to pay that at Alive at 5, which is cool.
Right.
Because of Rocky Mountain Credit Union and because of MT Kush and
all the
KXLH
sponsors
and all the sponsors. I mean, that's what makes this great music free, and it allows people to experience it even if they would think, well, I don't know whether I want to buy a ticket to that. I've heard they're kind of cool, but I just want to go hang out with my family, bring my kids. And then what that does is the next time they come through, then people are like, oh, that is my jam. I really like that. I'm willing to pay a 10.
It's worth getting if you got to get a sitter or whatever. it's worth making it a night where you can
do that.
You can sample it or enjoy the whole thing at no cost.
That's basically what it is. It's kind of like a free sample.
Yeah.
On
thanks to the generous sponsors.
Yeah, they're playing a full show, but I mean, for everybody that shows up there, it's like, oh, okay, well, bonus situation. I didn't have to pay for this. I can check it out.
Right.
And if I like it, maybe I'll come back.
Sometimes you're busy too, or you don't have a lot of time on a Wednesday or whatever. It's not like you're going to buy a ticket and go to a show that you only have an hour.
Yep.
And this is real easy to, if you just have a little time after work, go down, check it out, enjoy it, get some sun, and then head on and do what you need to do.
So on the 16th of July, back at the Lewis and Clark Tap Room. Now, this band you would definitely pay a ticket price to see normally. They've been through before, and they've always pulled a great crowd. It is the Irish rock band, the Young Dubliners. I think we got a little tune here we can throw up with the Young Dubs.
Right proudly high over Dublin town, they hung out the flag of war. 'Twas better to die 'neath an Irish sky than at Sood or Sood Elvar. And from the plains of Royal Mead, strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's armed with their long-range guns sailed out on a foggy dew. But the bravest fell as the requiem bell rang mournfully and clear. For those who died at Eastertide in the springtime of the year.
That's just fun music.
Yeah, one of the cool things about this, and we've talked about this before just because, you and I have been booking music at the brewery for a lot of years now, and it's just fun to be able to expose different kinds of music to people that wouldn't maybe necessarily not be drawn to it. But if they walk into a situation and it's free and they're like, wow, I had a way better time than I thought I was going to at that.
Right.
And I probably wouldn't even have either bought a ticket or even went to it because I didn't think I was into that. And there's a lot of the music that you're going to see at Alive at 5 that you don't necessarily listen to on your Spotify playlist every day, but it's a party is what these people are known for. And Irish rock is like that. I mean, I have a few different Irish rock bands that come through my playlist, but it's not something I listen to on a daily basis.
Right.
But when I see it live, it's a party.
Yeah.
And so
it's a good time.
I don't leave because I'm just not into Irish rock. Right. I mean, these guys are not only high quality musicians, but they are the energy that they bring and the excitement they bring to what they're doing is just infectious. And I think people at a live event just buy into that and just get involved.
To be able to see them at a free show is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, they're usually a $25 to $30 ticket. Yeah. And so to be able to show up and even catch 30 minutes of it if you want to. Plus, grab a food truck burger or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, and then also you mentioned kids, so to be able to bring, more of your family that you may be able to bring in and let them have a good time too, and catch some of it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention at the beginning. That's a good time to mention is at the brewery, we've actually just this year, we are in the midst of it right now, expanding the grass area.
Okay.
So we had already done that a couple of years ago, and now we're expanding the lawn even a little bit further, and we're making more room for a bigger stage to come in on the end of the grass.
Okay.
So it just creates more of a beautiful area to hang out on the lawn and listen to music. And especially if you've got kids and you want to throw a blanket down or a couple of camp chairs or something, it just creates a really fun environment to enjoy that. And then we'll still have the parking area that we'll close down for Alive at 5 to put our food trucks and all the other beer area and all that will be out there. But it's just going to make what was there a little bit bigger and a little bit better. And for some of the bigger events, especially for the block party and others, we're looking to bring in some bleachers as well.
Nice.
And that'll give another, 200, 250 seats for people that don't necessarily want to stand or sit on the grass. They can have a spot on the bleachers to watch the show. So that's exciting.
Block party, another free opportunity to see music.
Yeah. Block party. That's August 1st and 2nd. We'll do another podcast about that. I have the first day totally done, but I'm working on the second day. We got some great bands coming for that as well. So super, super excited. Yeah. And we'll probably do another podcast, just kind of like summer live music, because there's a lot of people that have asked me like, hey, is Too Slim and the Tail Draggers coming back? Yes, they are. Is, not necessarily Alive at 5, but they are coming back. And so we have a lot of really good acts lined up for this summer. It's going to be fun. That's awesome.
Well, I look forward to that next podcast. So what do we got? Now, this one, Young Dubliners, was which Wednesday?
On the 16th of July.
Okay.
So 1 week later, we're at the 23rd of July. And this one will be down at Women's Park again. And it is going to be Matt Axton and the Bad Moon. And Matt has only been through the brewery one time, and we got just such amazing feedback on Matt. Of course, if you're familiar with that last name, Axton, you probably remember Hoyt Axton, who was an icon in the country music scene. And this is Hoyt's son, Matt. And so not only does he cover some of his dad's stuff, just like you'd see Willie Nelson's son do and others, but he is, he's a great musician and songwriter in his own right. And so if you like country music, you're going to really enjoy Matt Axton and the Bad Moon. I think we have a clip here we can play.
There's some back to some great country.
Yep.
We've got quite a lot of variety over these weeks.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, if you think from Irish rock to country to bluegrass,
an all-female trio.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of good, fun stuff that's people are gonna get exposed to. And this guy is he's one of those guys that, I wouldn't be surprised if you just continue to see rise up in the country scene, because he also has some of that folk. He's got some rock. He's got some of the red dirt kind of style that everybody's kind of like looking to get into at this point. And he's just super talented. The whole band is super tight. So that's going to be a great show. Again, that one is down at Women's Park on July 23rd, Matt Axton and Bad Moon. And then if we go to the next week, we are now all the way towards the end of July 30th. And we've got another one of Helena's most favorite bands consistently pull a crowd at Lewis and Clark when they come in. And honestly, just over the last year, they've started to tour a little more. I mean, these guys all, like most local bands, they all have other jobs.
Right.
But I've seen a couple of shows they've done in Bozeman. I think they did one at the Wilma that was very successful over at the Top Hat. And that is 710 Ashbury. So if you are a Grateful Dead fan, you know who these guys are. And even if you're not, it is just fun music at a festival type environment. And I think we got a little clip here. We can.
Beer song. This is what we play whenever somebody spills a beer.
Chris, love it.
There you go, Chris.
And it's every night.
Yeah,
no
it means we're playing this.
Yeah, just classic Grateful Dead jam band. You're not sure whether the song's going to last 3 minutes or 30 minutes.
Right. No, if you're going to do something, do it well. And they do it really, really well.
They really do. And it takes a lot of talent to pull that stuff off. And these guys are all very talented musicians. So it's really stoked to have them back.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so good. And they're at... Of course, they're at live at 5, which is awesome that they're there.
Yep.
But on the 19th, they'll be at the tap room.
Yeah.
Of April.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So
right around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. The 20th, sort of celebrate 420.
420. Yep.
Jumping a day earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. 419.
Yep.
Saturday. So another chance to see them before the summer.
That's going to be a fun party. And that one will be at Lewis and Clark. And so that's July 30th.
Okay.
And that will be with 710 Ashbury. And then the next week, we are at, that one is back down to Women's Park. And this is going to be on the August 6th. And it is another one of the most requested bands that we had from last year. And actually every year, honestly, these guys, if you could put a definition of party band, these guys fit that so perfectly. And it's John Roberts and Pan Blanco. And anybody that's ever seen those guys play in the past know that they bring the party. We have a little footage here and some music we're going to throw up from last year's Alive at 5. And it just ends up being a unbelievably fun show. And at some point they're going to bring out the whole line, do the conga line, and all that stuff. But people love this vibe.
All right, here we go.
Unfortunately, it kind of got blocked by that tree, so I didn't get to see the band, but you can hear the band and you can see people having a great time with it.
It is fun to see the community having a nice time because that's what Alive at 5 is all about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those events that, and we talked about this last year, that just becomes such an iconic part of Helena.
Right.
From, the early days of just becoming kind of this beer drinking festival to what it has morphed into over the years with the food trucks and all of the other components of it that make it a really kind of family friendly,
right? Like a community gathering versus.
And it's a midweek thing, and a lot of times everybody gets busy on the weekend. They carve out their weekends for weddings and camp trips and festivals and so Wednesday.
And if you go on a boat, you got to go to the lake.
Yeah, you got to go to the lake.
We only have like 3 months.
You
Yeah,
you got to. And so it's like, okay, well, Wednesday is that, okay, we're halfway through the week. Let's either walk down or drive down and park somewhere and walk over to Alive at 5 and enjoy a couple hours of good music, have a beer, have some good food.
Right.
Chat with many of the sponsors and vendors down. I mean, it's a really, really cool, iconic event that, I hope to be able to continue to do this for a number of years because It's been going on for, well over 20 years, 25 years. And it's just something that would be really cool to continue.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to say thanks again to the sponsors that make this happen.
Absolutely. It just would not happen. I mean, hate to toot our own horn, but obviously Lewis and Clark's a big part of that. But the Rocky Mountain Credit Union, MT Cush, and KXLH, and there's so many others that we'll be adding here, I'm sure, in the next month or so. And watch the social media for that. And we appreciate you supporting those. And we appreciate the fact that when you go into these businesses, you say, hey, thanks.
Right.
Thanks for doing
I appreciate
that.
what you're doing.
I just enjoyed a great concert.
Yeah, you make Wednesdays special.
And so thanks, because that obviously makes an impact. Those businesses then say, oh, okay, I guess this is something that has value, and this is something we should continue to do.
Right.
All right.
What do we got on tap?
Let's see, that was the 6th, and now that takes us up to the 13th, and this would be back at Lewis and Clark, and we've got a couple of our favorite bands, and both of these bands, this would be kind of a co-headlining show. Both of these bands have really started to kind of grow in their own right and start to tour outside of Montana and do very well. And that is both of them in the same kind of genre, that kind of country red dirt genre. And that is our buddies from originally from the Clintons band, John and Josh and El Wencho.
Nice.
And Matt Strawn and the Hoot Owls. And so that's going to be a really fun night. Both of these bands just bring the energy and the fun that really defines the kind of newer red dirt rock country genre. And now I know John and Josh have been traveling all over. They've been down in Belize and down in Florida and down in New Orleans. They even do the what's the Margaritaville festival, and Jimmy Buffett's thing. And so just a really cool vibe. Both of them just bring the energy and throw a great party. So that's going to be on the 13th. And
so is one, do you know which one is going to be playing first or which one second?
I don't even know if we decided that yet. How the
and those guys get along so well. It's not like there's going to be any sort of an issue. I was just curious.
Super good buddies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I know they've played a lot out at Lakeside. They've played at the Brewery. They played all over the state. Actually, El Wencho, I see those guys, constantly every weekend going somewhere. Yeah. And I believe Matt's got some new music just coming out as well.
Nice.
So I think we got a little shot.
Yeah, got a little Matt out at Lakeside.
Yeah, cool.
Place I know, like the back of my hand. When we were young, we sneak off and run across the fields of McClatchy's land to the bend in the river where it pools up nice. Stand below that old wooden bridge and cast till night. Miners used to run through here, chasing burst stones, find the rust they left behind and share our tales of ghosts. Chasing the buzz, climbing trees.
It's kind of that quintessential Montana summertime party music,
Yeah.
And he's written some really good stuff. And then, of course, El Wencho.
Right.
They've had a lot of stuff come out. And here's a clip of them at the Brewery. They always bring a party.
They do.
Good old sugar beets.
Yeah. Great song. Got Heath out there dancing in this video.
Oh, yeah. And of course, these guys, I mean, Matt as well, but definitely John and Josh have just been with us from the very beginning. I mean, back when we were underneath the brew house, we're talking 23 years ago.
Right.
These guys would still come through. I think back in those days, what did they call themselves? It wasn't El Wencho. It was like the Wench, I think is what it was called. That little stage we had with the sawdust floors and all that stuff. And the place was packed with 22 people in it.
Yeah, we did that one podcast with Josh where we pulled out the old video that they made coming in. And that was fun.
So, yeah, we're super stoked. That's going to be a little homecoming, if you will, for Alive at 5. We're super stoked for that. That's going to be August 13th, of course, a Wednesday, because we're talking about Alive at 5. And then if we move to the next week, it's going to be the one at Carroll College. And this will be the first one we've ever done at Carroll College. We're really excited about it because they have a beautiful facility over there. Not only they have, just an amazing new football field, but they have a beautiful grassy area. And those of you that have been to, what is the Symphony Under the Stars, I think it's called, they do every year. And it's just
so will it be set up kind of in the same place as Symphony Under the Stars or more on the football field?
Where we're going to put the stage on the parking lot by the football field, but it'll be facing up that grassy hill that some people sled down in the wintertime.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it won't be quite where they did the big Symphony Under the Stars, but it'll definitely be a nice grassy area with lots of area to spread out. And then that lets us use the entire parking lot where the PE center is there for food trucks and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, sure.
Should be a fun event. And
who's playing?
And it's the first day of school at Carroll College, so we'll have a bunch of students.
Yeah.
And we have a band that played for the first time at the Montana Brewers Awards in February at the brewery. And we were just so impressed with them. We said, hey, is there any way you can play Live at 5? It is the Rocky Mountain Pearls. And a country band that is just one of the top country bands in the state right now. Led by, Lindsay Pearl, the gal that is doing most of the lead vocals during this, and just a really solid band. They're traveling around the state and even outside of the state as well. And I think we have a little clip of them playing when they were out and about. So let's check them out.
Yeah, those good vocals. Really good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And again, it's all about kind of continuing to mix this up. We've had everything from country to red dirt to, Grateful Dead tribute kind of stuff. And the next one that we have is the week after that, which is the last week of Alive at 5. Now, we've extended the season by 1 week this year. Mainly because of this band. I mean, I tried to get this band booked at the brewery last year, and we were going to do it as a ticketed event, and it was going to be like a $25 or $30 ticket in order to make it work. And as it turns out, I mean, one of the nice things about booking bands on a Wednesday is there's not a lot of big venues that are looking to book bands on Wednesdays.
Might be traveling through.
Yeah. So they're actually coming up to Big Sky to do some sort of big event at Big Sky. I don't know if it's a private event or what they're doing up there, but they happen to be coming through and they said, hey, any chance you would be interested? Because I had talked to the guy last year about doing something on a Wednesday. And I said, you know what? Let's see if we can extend this Live at 5 one more week and make it work to bring in this band. And this is probably one of the hottest, I would say, bluegrass, high-energy jam bands that you're going to find, Americana bluegrass, and it's Hot Buttered Rum.
Wow.
I mean, these guys have been playing around the country for years and years. And, you're talking about just amazing harmonies and amazing musicians, everything from banjo to fiddle to, it's just a really unique experience. If you haven't experienced Hot Buttered Rum and you don't want to spend $30 or $40, if you just look on their website right now, go out there and see where they're on
where
tour,
their tickets are. Yeah.
And they're going to be $30 to $40 and maybe even $50, depending on where they're at. And you can come down and see them for free at the very last Live at 5 of the season, which is August 27th. That's going to be at our place at Lewis and Clark Brewing Company. Nice. And check these guys out because they are an unforgettable experience. Let's throw a little bit of that out.
I used to want to bite every apple, to shake down every tree. Space with sweet things all around me. I get up in the morning, shake the shame and shave in cold water. I get up in the evening and eat and do it again and again and again and again. I've been a host to hungry ghosts who eat all the food and the wine.
Again, one of those bands that no matter what kind of music you're into, you will be captivated by these guys. I mean, this last weekend, I had the privilege of going down to see Turnpike Troubadours and Cross Canadian Ragweed for their reunion at Stillwater. And these guys remind me a lot of Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay.
Same kind of music, same kind of harmonies, same kind of stories in the songs. But to take it one step further, there's times where they just jam. And they're kind of like, if you would say, the Grateful Dead of some of this music. They will just jam on through songs. And so I am really excited about these guys. And these are definitely I would say, the most expensive, if you will, if you had to go see them anywhere else. So mark that on your calendar. I know it's the first day of school, so you got to get your kids in school, then come down on a Wednesday and watch this band. But you don't want to miss these guys because you don't want to hear around the water cooler the next day that, oh my God, did you go down to Lewis and Clark and see Hot Buttered Rum? Because it's going to be that good of a show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the Alive at 5 lineup. That's all of the weeks lined out, and we'll certainly be doing some more podcasts, and who knows, I mean, hopefully even highlighting some of these musicians, having them call in and talk to us and talk about their upcoming shows, and as we move through the weeks, getting closer. But we wanted to get this information out because everybody's excited about what's going on this summer. And then again, we're going to be doing several other podcasts about the block party and about other live music that we got coming into
got to get back in the saddle, get back in the swing of it.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get that stuff figured out.
Yeah.
And it's getting beautiful out. So I know we're both itching to get out on the golf course and do a little fishing and all that fun stuff. And so we just want people to start planning for Wednesdays. And so from mid-June to late August, just plan for Alive at 5 because it's going to be a fun time.
You should know what you're doing on Wednesday.
Yep.
Let's go to Alive at 5, baby.
Meet your friends, have a beer, get some good food from the food trucks. And again, we certainly got to do a big shout out to Rocky Mountain Credit Union, MT Cush, and all of the sponsors that you'll see flowing in. And again, if you want to sponsor, we're still looking for those sponsors, and we're going to give you great exposure, not only with signage, but tenting opportunities to be able to, pop up a tent and talk about your services or your products or whatever at Alive at 5 and really get involved with this community event. And, we've had some great crowds. We've had anywhere from 600 to almost 1,000 people a week. And so I think, it all depends a little bit on the weather and everything that goes on, but we've got the lineup of music and we have the stage and PA and we've got the beer and the food. And now it's just about the people.
Well, that's great information, Max. And I'd say cheers to those sponsors and cheers to another year of Alive at 5.
Cheers. See you out there.